Hello, my friends. Happy Monday to you. Happy autumn equinox. Wishing everyone Mabon blessings. Yes. Yes. Y'all, the energy is so funny. Listen, if you really clock in on your energy, if you pay attention, like to the cycles and the things that are happening, you know what I'm saying? If you, let me take these cards out so we can share and pull, of course, that it is being Mabon and the equinox. Let's get the cards out, friends. But it's just too funny because if you pay attention, things just be real obvious. You know what I'm saying? You have to, who's joining us? Okay, the usuals lately. I love the color scheme. My North Node in Taurus. We do love a good green. We love a good foresty feel and vibe. What do we got? I put out lemongrass this morning. I have like a witch's brew blend. I've been burning it in my oil burner. So yeah, the skull. Okay. I mean, even though technically the skull is with us, but I have to tell you, while I smudge with some Palo Santo for us and we tap in together, I hope you had a grounded, earthy, hopefully weekend that was full of, partial solar eclipse energies, that was full of portal closings, walking through. This is dying too. We're not really going to get a strong burn today. I need to get a new one. How was your eclipse portal weekend? We have our two bookends. And so this weekend we did close the eclipse portal, but just be mindful. We closed it with that second new moon in alignment with that solar eclipse. What was that I was listening to that accidentally kept calling it a solar moon? And I thought that was funny. And she was like, wow, I really like that name. And I was like, yeah, it's very fitting. But, yeah, how are you doing? I felt and extended into this beautiful autumn equinox day, which please always, be mindful. Always tell everyone, when you observe the wheel of the year, and you don't have to make a proclamation that you are anything. In fact, Spirit chuckles at us because we really are so much of all things. And it's beautiful that honestly, we don't have to be a thing. We can instead experience a thing. Maybe that's a message for us all or for someone specifically, whether it's a set of beliefs or I am this or they are that, whatever the case may be. It's all just an experience. And so I think it is beautiful that I was having a conversation with a friend and we were saying, the one thing, if you tangibly really wanted to dig in and hold on to something, the one thing would really be the earth, wouldn't it? You know what I'm saying? And granted, I'll joke with people. I have, it's very Aquarian over here. It is very Aquarian. By the way, welcome and thank you for being here. Thank you if you click subscribe, join our family, our soul family. We really just be chilling and hanging out together over here. But when you subscribe, it's kind of an energetic connection across the aethers. Okay. And then we're soul family and we hold hands and we walk through the energies over here. I do read natal charts. I read tarot charts. I have a practice of making ritual tools for my soul family. And I do that because I love it. But this channel, I'm not out here trying to monetize. But if you do subscribe, it just kind of, helps us align more frequently together, you with me with you, right? And yeah, I will always say if the content that we share together in the channeling and the energy and the frequencies are of service to you, in a good way. Child, I would like to say if it's a positive way, but honey, sometimes what's good for us not always be feeling positive, okay? So let's just say if you find that it is of service and helpful. We're in a time frame shifting where again, I just feel so called to remind you to not be super attached to everything and understand it's okay to be triggered. It's okay to feel grief about things changing really fast, and learning to let go. I always return in my spirit and my spirit team, who is always in service over here. We always call in a spirit team, our ancestors, both galactic and earthbound. Our spirit gang over here, we are in service of the highest and best good and harming none. That's always the energy that we anchor into. But they always take me back to that Hopi elders. Look around in your canoe and push off the banks. We're going to be in the water and it's going to be okay. So, all that to say, listen, bring it back in. And let me just go ahead and tell you too, look, I wanted to print the chart. We may still get back into it tomorrow. But there's a pocket of time here. And I made a comment on some of my business page, wherever it was, I don't know. It felt really still this weekend. It felt still. It felt slower. It felt like a meditative space, a pocket, a portal, if you will. We've been loving us some portals, okay, even since last year, honestly. We could really dip down the rabbit hole and talk about a lot of portals that have led us up to now, which is kind of the huge climax. And we're through it. Listen, hey, how about that? I'm here. I'm Spirit is showing me, like, when a child goes through a procedure, what's a common one? They're at the dentist, or they have to get a shot, or get like blood drawn or something. And it's always that first thing, and then it's like, open your eyes. You're dying. See. And it's like, see, it's okay. You didn't even know you were on the other side. I'm looking up above my computer, which, y'all, listen, I see a guy. I have like this panoramic art spread on a tapestry. It's of the mountains. Come on now. It's the mountains. It's a lake. It's the moon on one side, the sun on the other, stars in the middle. So as soon as I was tapping into that, I look up and this tiny guy on a canoe, it's a daunting task. You would imagine that he's going to cross this big river. And the mountains, which maybe we could say are his ancestors, are in the background. But listen, you know what? When you look up at this panoramic view of this art, I'll have to take a picture now and share it with you guys. It's like a tapestry. I don't know. You would think it would be so easy for him to be in this lake and be afraid. But the whole of it, and now there's even a part in the middle that looks like an all-seeing eye. Now I'm at the show. And then there's like a face in the mountains. All right, y'all, let me focus. We're just reading the art today. We're reading it. It could be very daunting, but it all depends on his perspective of this view. It's beautiful. And on one side, it's like a tent camping scene. On the other side, it's more like a cabins, maybe a community. Who knows? Where is he going? And maybe he lives over there and he's just out in his canoe for the day. Who knows? All of the perspectives of this one piece could be so different. But do you attach to an expectation of it? Do you project fear onto it? We could go a million directions with that about your perception and how the alignment of where you're at and your frequency of what kind of dictates your perception. And yes, of course, the more that you grow in your self-awareness, your healing journey, and you learn to detach from things that defined you, and they defined you from a place that wasn't in your highest and best good, right? Because they were born out of pain and shadow. Yes, of course, right? The more that we detach, release, which is part of the alchemical work, we have to integrate, we have to experience, and we have to do these things. Spirit is laughing. You show me, like, you don't just put the roux in the pot and say, well, I've detached the onions from the celery and now it will be. That's not how it works. You have to, it's all this, it's all that. It's a process. Alchemy involves what? You guessed it. It involves heat, being uncomfortable and going through these things. And at the end, of course, we know, well, maybe we're deglazing something. Maybe we're doing a roux, a stew, what have you. Nonetheless, the process is the same. And the ending point is great. And it's a journey. to go through it. Now I'm seeing Spirit is showing me maybe this is a confirmation or I don't know, something. A river runs through it where he's fly fishing, and it's just, I can't stop looking at this tapestry now. But here's what's beautiful. I actually love this energy because what's beautiful is that Mabon, taking us all the way back for my tangent. You know, we get ADD over here, but sometimes Spirit is just kind of showing me things, and I really like to put them all out in the space for you guys because I know that we resonate and something may be a very specific message or a confirmation for someone. So, child, not that I have to explain anything to you, but listen, I love to share all the things that Spirit is showing me. I think it's a beautiful energy, and the whole point of kind of going through detaching from what I have to be or they have to be or whatever is the wheel of the year, and the most tangible point and the most actually pure, organic, and beautifully ascending in the most harmonic way is the spirit of Terra Gaia. And wherever you fall, I'll tell you what, I know that all of our feet in this human experience have to touch the same ground. And I know that when we run out of it, but let's not go there because I don't claim that timeline. Absolutely, I don't claim that timeline for us. And I'll tell you what, I did study environmental science, friend. You know I know the things, but even still, I don't claim that timeline. Okay, and that's how I choose my perspective. But the wheel of the year is beautiful, whether you are pagan or not. Whether honestly, we're all very pagan at the root of who we are as electromagnetic, divine sovereign light sources that are in this human being experience. Spirit shows it to me this way. We, that's all in our DNA. We don't escape from that. We just kind of story tell to ourselves in the Maya and the illusion that we escape from that, but we don't. That's our purest form. It's like someone always trying to find the most organic thing. The wheel of the year is beautiful. The flow of the seasons is beautiful. It is not to say that you don't still have to orient yourself to different timings and calendars, but when you return to this way, it's like experiencing time. I don't know, how do we say, Spirit, in a more organic, fluid flow. It kind of heals you, and that you have to connect to a Gregorian calendar. It gives you touch points that are more just organic, more authentic, okay? And I love Mabon season because if we were more oriented with the wheel of the year, this would really kind of be more like Thanksgiving time, so to speak. Child, I'm still going to eat some turkey and do the things in November too. I ain't even going to lie. Give me any reason to celebrate and share a meal and cook for people and, do those things, the most important things. Friend, I'm gonna celebrate that reason. I don't care if we got to sit at the table and educate the people on the ugly things and why and this and that. And we can do that. And guess what? We can still break bread. And we can still do some things together and whatnot. But it's a beautiful season, Mabon is. It is a beautiful transition. If you consider the wheel of the year and how after the autumn equinox, it really depends on the timing. But it's beautiful how it flows you right from Virgo into Libra season. Because ideally, if you've been on the work, if you've been making your list, checking them twice, that's what I heard. Again, I always return to like a dutiful librarian or a planner who had to get her barn or her her cooler underground storage place right. She's getting everything ready so that everything that she is going to be served, blessed with, i.e. abundance in many different forms, whatever the case. We want to have the proper space. We want to have, sometimes it's more about you're going to get a harvest, and is the harvest people? Is it a career opportunity? Is it just peace? Maybe you're making space in your mind and spirit because before you have not been able to be receptive to peace, healing. Maybe it is making room for an abundance of healing or energy or something that's going to come in your body. Maybe it's there's so many different ways. We've been talking about all year, you guys, because it's a Virgo ruled year, 6th house karmic placement, karmic Virgo energy here with the solar eclipse that we went through. Also Virgo new moons. Okay, you guys know. My friend, shout out once again to the famous or infamous Miss Cindy. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. She's going to know. But it's also Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. We've been saying that all year. Spirit, mind, and body, all of those components play a part. And I'm also take a lot of classes and certifications on the health care, medical health care, all this side too. And it's so interesting to know now that your insurance companies and your clinicians and, you know, your caretakers, will put them in a big category together. Love and light to them. There's a lot of recognition on long-term preventative modalities that have to do with emotions and mental health and spiritual things. Like now that we have tools where we can study, for example, we can study how like energy moves through the fascia in your body, fascia, kind of like fiber optics, and how things like yoga, Tai Chi, certain things release like excess built up energy. How does this contribute to mental health? Is really fascinating to consider all the studies, especially progression of technologies with Uranus and Gemini, Pluto and Aquarius. I think those are just all going to take off. But I love to see that for us, right? Because all of it, we have always taught and we have said, you can take this back to our Cancerian year in 2023 with the Chariot, right? The number 7 year, how we talked about how it's important to clean out your emotional body and your waters. You are 50 to 70% water. Your blood has that plasmic form in it. And we could really nerd out on that, but a lot of liquid, a lot of water. Okay, and if you are not able to cleanse and clear your waters, they will bleed out through literally, they'll eventually end up in your bloodstream. They will affect your organ and tissue health. You know, your lymph system, your endocrine hormone. We talked about all this. Things can get really hypo, very low, or hyper, very high on the active, out of balance. So it is important. I do love to see spirit, mind, and body, you know, catching up with us all, what we felt intuitively and what our ancestors knew impacted our health. But I think it's funny that, let me take it back. So I was going to sit down, of course, and like pull out the charts. You know, we do love to channel and draw and write the notes and the things. I love the paper. It's a great visual effect. You know, it's like, even if you don't, I joke with you all the time and I say, even if you feel like you're looking at a different language on the paper, it's an interesting visual effect. But along with the stillness that I felt so much this weekend, it was like the internet was very inconsistent, which is super rare here. I have a really good setup because I upload so much video and work from home, so that's very rare. And it was just over and over and over again. And I was like, okay. I really felt called to be creative, so I was creating things, and there's always packages to ship. You know, there's things to do. Making some custom orders. I really enjoyed that. I enjoy being in stillness and then listening to kind of like the muse and the spirits of the earth. And that's a beautiful gift that will come through. And of course, as we transition from Virgo to Libra, we've been in a very, this is me in relation to myself type of connection to the signs, right? And then we go into Libra. Well, you kind of, there's parts if you go through it, but I'm talking about how you relate to yourself. Yes, we could say, okay, well, Virgo does this and Leo does this, for sure. But really, when you transition into Libra, then you start to say, well, now this is me in relation to interaction with emotional bonds, relationships, whether they're platonic, business, creative, romantic, right? We have all these, I love to say. We have emotional bonds and contracts. We come in, incarnate, and agree to do alchemy together in lots of different ways, right? And it is all for the highest and best good of the collective. To continue to clear the debris, you know what I'm saying? So we love to feel kind of that, what were we saying in another video? Spirit reminds me, that wind's coming in Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm thinking of the reel because I keep seeing people, spiritual people in the communities use that. And it is very articulate to how it feels that, you know, the wind blows, you see the leaf, you hear the raven or the crow call, and you feel it on the air. So I did really enjoy, it was just like this rustling, but if you're not still, or if you're looking at all the social media, or if you're just in the hyper busyness of, and I understand, it's like the peak of Virgo season. Yes, we were at the crux of that 29th degree. And it was kind of like, I'm hearing, Spirit is showing me, by the way, I still don't, I can't, the internet is down right now. It's up and down. I'm getting my, all the things checked out. I can troubleshoot with the best of them. Don't worry. But also another funny thing is, like, I wanted to label all these bottles. I have a beautiful friend where I get orders ready to send to her shop. And I couldn't print any labels. As a matter of fact, if you guys participated in that preview to fall, y'all, you're going to be getting your shipments, or some of you may already have. I had to like handwrite labels, which is OG. Forever, you guys, I only handwrote everything because that's the vibe that I wanted. I wanted to feel like you knocked on your neighborhood witchy's door and she gave you a homemade thing. Very organic, very pure. But I did decide to upgrade the labeling. And honestly, I kind of need to save some time with some business growth and just growth of people I connect to. So anyway, you guys are going to be getting some handwritten bottles like old times. But it's all good. Sometimes I love the effect of the handwritten. Do you see the magic that's beyond just a pretty logo? Anyone can print out a pretty logo, you know, love and light, to throw a little glamour magic on something. And if that's your vibe, hey, we all have different contracts of what we came to do, but that's not my vibe. But anyway, it was just funny. I did not have toner. The toner randomly went out. So now I have a toner on order. It was just stuff like that. Like, even today, still not, what was it today? It was something else. My mouse died. So I'm having to find my backup one so that I can connect it. I have a setup that like tethers to the screens that I have. Y'all, anyway, it's real earthy and organic, but we get real technical too, because your girl got to work sometimes. But listen, one thing after another, the message became very clear that you need, how do you hear the shift in the winds? Do you hear the trees? Yes, the ancestors always live in our spirit. And anytime it's like, yeet, I got to go left. Well, just go left, girl, you know, friend. He, she, them, they, we love everybody over here. Listen, person, if your spirit say go left, sometimes you just got to go left. And you'd be like, I don't really have time to go check the wind. I feel that. But sometimes chaos is necessary, you guys. Is always going to be stirring in the background. It's the nature of the way that incarnating in certain dimensionalities of this earth school right now are working. And we always have a choice when we bring in, as electromagnetic beings, in a very electromagnetic, projective, holographic type of, we are co-creating. This is the experience on earth school, right? We bring in that energy, and then, of course, it's a matter of how we transmute, alchemize, and then utilize it. We're learning that. Okay, we're learning that. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes in times like these, what was the song I was hearing, y'all? We're living on the edge. You can't help yourself from falling. Okay. You can't help yourself at all. Okay, I don't have any computer. We ain't Googling lyrics today or nothing. Was that? Okay, I thought I was hearing another song, but no, I do keep just constantly hearing in the back of my head. What is it? Something in the east, the wind's coming in. I know it's from Mary Poppins. I don't know. Anyway, like I said, I can't Google the lyrics, but you get the vibe. The stillness is very important. Spirit is reminding me, of course, 29th degree of Virgo, the epitome of all of this Virgo and the Virgo we've been working for, because now new people, Libra season, new table, air trines, of course. Pretty soon, Mars is going to move on. Has Mars moved into Scorpio today? I'm not sure. YOLO, I don't have a chart in front of me. We've had the conversations at the table. And now I feel, of course, Pluto and Aquarius will still stay connected to Uranus and Gemini. So it's kind of like we've had the discussions at the table, the teachings, the lessons, the connections with new people, the upgrades in the DNA. I'm hearing telomeres again. There's a lot going on, right? Pluto and Aquarius is still going to bring in things. But now, Libra season, beautiful autumn equinox, Mabon. Whose tables are we going to sit at? Where will we be invited? We're meeting new people, opportunities to intermingle in new contracts. And you kind of go out and you say, I've done a lot of work. Hello, Virgo energy, right? I see how the day has changed. I see how the job has changed. I see what my health is called for. Spiritual, mental, right? Physical health, all hand in hand, whatever the case may be. Now, Libra energy will say, who are you going out to speak with? Who is coming to speak with you to give you a blessing, to give you an opportunity? I do feel that Pluto, Aquarius, Uranus, and Gemini. Plus, when Mars moves into Scorpio, it's going to be like, oh, it's time to take action. And like, I'm serious about it and I'm emotional about it. But we'll get into the charts maybe tomorrow. But yeah, it's been a beautiful still energy. Many, many blessings I'm sending out to all of you guys. Please continue to be mindful of propaganda and what influences your energy and how you choose to detach with compassion, to not engage. Don't commit to just constantly trying to explain yourself or understand what tables also that you don't need to be at. And you know what? Sometimes you just go from the table. And the absence speaks for itself, and we don't have to choose to be triggered. And what's another message that's been coming through a lot this year, you guys? I ain't got a dog in the fight, okay? I ain't got a dog in the fight, y'all know. But it's a beautiful quietness, and I love that. I think it's super important. Thinking of the Hermit card, Spirit is showing me the Hermit card so clearly about that lantern, the light from within, going back from within and just understanding like, hey, listen, it's okay. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Where did I see a meme? Who was it? Me? Did I reshare? I can't remember, but it was just like, it's fucking all going to be okay. It is. It really is. We go through transitional times, and I'd encourage you, if you feel concern, you know what I'm saying? Have faith in all that the universe incarnates to be, to experience, to execute, to walk out. Have faith and understand. This is very North Node in Pisces, very Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius energy. Child, ain't nobody getting nothing over on Pluto. Ain't nobody getting nothing over on karma. I'm trying to tell you right now. Let me tell you something Spirit was showing me, like sometimes love and light and Libra season. Think of Maat. Think of Pallas Athena. Think of the wisdom of the diplomatic, humanitarian, social worker. Have you ever been, okay, this reminds me because I've had things go on in my life, and let's just leave it there. You feel like you've got to be fucking kidding me. But let's say, hypothetically, a social worker, right? Very Libra energy. Hold on and trust me. I'm just giving them rope. Mars in Scorpio, you know what I'm saying? Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio now in Libra season with all of these placements of swinging back into patterns of Pisces. All this, right? I'm kind of seeing it like, what am I seeing, Spirit? Spirit is showing me deep sea fishing. Okay, love and light. I don't know. Maybe that's confirmation for someone, but I'm going to start shuffling these cards too, because I really want to pull one or two for us. I think I'm just going to go with oracles today, but doing a lot of collective readings, I've seen like a lot of like King of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, freaking the Fool, the Wheel, the Fool, the Wheel, like It's very clear that many of us have chosen the new road and we're on it. And we are the divine inheritance and the blessings and the goal-oriented path workers that we've all been waiting for. And I'm so excited to see how we will all walk that out. It's not something that we wake up tomorrow and it's like, what is it? Okay, Spirit was showing me deep sea fishing. And that has something to do with, I'll give them enough rope to hang themselves with. Give them more rope, give them more rope. Saturn, and it makes me think of too how Saturn was like, oh, you thought that the karma was served. I've swung back into Pisces. What is Spirit showing? I'm deep sea fishing. Oh, I'm going all the way down for the big fish. Spirit saying it like this. Okay, I'm going all the way in. How hard they going to bite? Because I know I ain't going to complete 29 and a half years and really officially sit all the way back down into this Aries energy next spring, early spring, whatever, February. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. Hold tight. You know what I'm saying? Neptune and Aries. Neptune getting ready to go back into Pisces too. Hold tight. Understand that we know who we are. Okay, we incarnated. We know. There's a lot of trust. There's a lot of faith. Pluto and Aquarius really just hollering like, trust me, right? Uranus and Gemini. Oh, you have yet to see what is in your DNA that we've had you going through these cycles for is a very karmic reckoning. It's very Maat. Oh, you think I ain't been holding the scales? Some people are dealt with in silence is kind of what I hear. But yeah, I was seeing deep sea fishing. Dang, Spirit was showing me something else, but I kind of lost it. But it's really important to, Spirit was showing me the Wizard of Oz and, tap your heels. And then she wakes up. Oh, I had the craziest dream. Uncle so-and-so and Ma and Pop. No, we're not just going to wake up. I mean, what is time? The dreamer dreaming the dream. And yes, you can understand and trust that it is very fluid and you've been guiding yourself through this dream all along. I'm hearing you had the magic in you all along or something, right? Glinda the Good Witch. Gravity. Soon I'm being a memory. I'm getting something like off that song. Something about like she hasn't even touched back down yet. I'm not sure what that means. It's almost like we're going to let the wizards dance it all the way out down the yellow brick road, but that doesn't take any power away from her spell book. I don't know. Now I'm seeing her like conjuring up all those spells, but nobody knew what she was doing in the forest, and she was fine with being labeled as the back. Wow, I don't know. Okay, it's a lot. I'm getting a lot of downloads. It's very Pluto and Aquarius, Uranus and Gemini. Like, oh, honey, I'm hearing, baby, you just ain't seen nothing yet. Bow, bow. Something you're never gonna forget. Bow, bow. Right? Okay, Spirit. Dang. Okay. Next year is a 1 year, you guys. It's really important for us to rest, return to our inner place of light. Be about your magic. It's really important. Spirit is showing me. I'm so drawn to the picture on the cover. Doing your work is so important for the collective right now. And when you do your work for yourself and you do your work for the collective, it's so much more. The candle is drawing me, being drawn to the light. Blinded by the light. Dun, dun. What is it? The Calliope. Did we channeled that song a lot in 2023. The Calliope fell to the ground. And then I remember wondering, what the hell is a Calliope? And then I was reading about that song. Damn, that's such a great song. Such a good guitar riff, right? But, sorry, that's my dog. Y'all know she was sleeping. Girl, you good? She woke up. I don't know. She having kind of a crazy dream, but it was like about tip the merry-go-round, the calliope fell to the ground. It's like a whole carousel spinning way too fast. Now I'm seeing Dorothy in a tornado. Yeah, I think it's kind of just like hold tight. It's important for you to really know where your center is. This is a huge, this Mabon portal. Please remember too, you guys, it's not on the wheel of the year and the beautiful celebration of the seasons. Firesider, we love to see it. And the beautiful celebration of the seasons, it's important to remember, let this, you can do beautiful rituals or just spending time in nature, being at peace, being quiet, away from social media, just not excessive mental stimulation, being mindful of who you're connecting with. A lot of people are going to be embodying some intense energy, understandably so, and in a very unself-aware, that's totally coming from a wounded place. And no, they have not tried to heal. They're not even aware of that. Okay, we're not on the same timelines anymore. But let your practices kind of unfurl all week, lighting candles, working with your oils and plants and, the spirits of the earth, which are always going to be pure. Nobody is ever going to fucking hijack them. Just know that shit. Your energetic chakras, you have control of like what's coming in and what you can cleanse and clear, or just be present and in love. You know what I mean? That's a beautiful high vibration. Doing rituals or sitting in peaceful quiet, making things, fire cider is great. A simmer pot. I'm seeing like a beautiful simmer pot. Very simple. Simple is best, I think, right now for sure in the year of Virgo. In a Virgo ruled year, it's not about like how much money can I go out and spend to get all the no. Virgo is very like, let's be efficient. What do we have that's close by and everything, right? Whoa, there's a lot. Sorry, I'm just really tapping into like a lot there, but I think this week is really important to be quiet and to simplify. And understand Libra energy will rebalance the scales for sure, and it's beautiful. And you know how we always say, again, coming back as a touch point. Whatever you do, wherever you go, whatever it is you experience, you don't have to say, I am this, or I have to be that, or whatever. Whatever we're experiencing, right? That ultimately teaches us wisdom. It's an experience on the journey. We can come back and ground to the earth, right? We can come back and ground to how we connect to her and what is very simple and what is very pure and true. Again, I know transitioning out of Virgo season, but it still is a very Virgo year. We had a huge activation with the South Node being in Virgo, karmic Virgo tendencies of everything has to be perfect. I have to rethink it again. It is like a perfectionism, or it can be like white knuckle gripping the way that your day has to go, or, North Node in Pisces and a lot of this changing, shifting energy, showing you how your day, your routine, your health, how things have changed, what needs to change. North Node in Pisces too will continue to ask. Because remember, eclipse portals rip out. This will ripple out to the end of the year. 3 months in the least, for sure. Some people would argue a little bit longer than that because it happened in such a powerful shift of planets, right? Mind you, you may also be reflecting back to the opening eclipse portal and saying, oh, shoot, maybe flipping back if you journal a lot and saying, wow, this is where I was at then. Oh, maybe there are some correlations, but what does this all have in common? It's quiet, solitude, light from the inner lamp, the touch points of your rituals and connecting to the earth, right? Just simplicity. I love that message. I love the quiet. Washing with wisdom and discernment. You know what I mean? I keep seeing, well, it's Libra we're transitioning to Libra, so it makes sense. But I've been seeing these energies sitting at the table together. And, Mars is going to shift now. So Mars has been in Libra. Mars has kind of been diplomatic. Let's say, okay, fine. I'll take my notes. I'm listening, but you just wait. And now Mars in Scorpio, right? He loves to be in Scorpio, and it's like, I don't know, for some reason I'm seeing Tiamat like coming up out of the ocean, and it's like dun, 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 I don't know. Phantom of the Opera. That's what I'm seeing, but we'll see. Love and Light. Which wouldn't be the first time, probably ain't gonna be the last. You know what I'm saying? We just eat popcorn back here. Okay, wow, Mars is tripping. Okay, but anyway, that could also look like I'm finally made a decision. I'm tired. We're gonna go. Anyway, we could speculate on that, right? But I see all this energy at the table. And Pluto is just wise and listening, you know what I'm saying? Because Pluto is that higher power, is very Odin, is very, I hung on a tree for how many days, right? Like to get the wisdom that was bestowed upon us and through all the runes. Wisdom and discernment, knowing when to release your attachment, white knuckling anything is really not going to be helpful, but also being joyful, being creative, understanding new things and the new perspectives that they bring, right? Let's read what came out of our beautiful Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle. Okay, we did pull Fire Cider. Dwell in the medicine that exists to protect the spirit. This is giving this energy that I was saying, being very like, this is what I have around me right now. Because Fire Cider uses so many things. It can be really simple. And in different areas, people have different recipes. But it's one of the hugest components of like many different factors. You can take it back to Hippocrates. And we could have discussions about Fire Cider and how powerful it is. And your digestive system and the gut-brain dynamic, all that. It's a huge oomph packed into something that's really so simple. And what is it ultimately? Is the beautiful elements of the earth, right? Okay, let's read about it. What do we have? 16, which 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 energy. I always think of the Chariot and the Cancer. Kind of the reclamation of your inner knowing, how you guide yourself with your willpower. But ultimately, it's all very simple, right? And when you can step back and kind of say, what does this say? Preparation, building immunity, strengthening the spirit. Building immunity, strengthening the spirit. I think immunity is important to understand. Virgo is wise and discerning. Aquarius is also acutely discerning. Aquarius and Virgo energy, because I'm thinking about age of Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius, right? Kind of trumps the board on a lot of things going on in astrology. But they have acute skills of pattern recognition, very good intuition, always paying attention to details. I've always felt like Aquarius and Virgo share that. I love my Virgo babes, okay? Besties, friends, he, she, them, theys, my Virgos, okay? Shout out. Love y'all, okay? Immunity and strengthening the spirit sticks out to me because it's like, be about your pattern recognition here. Do you see the propaganda? Do you see the trend? Go back and read about the last time Pluto was in Aquarius. Go back and read about the late 1930s. Go back and read the last time Saturn was in Pisces. There's a lot of things. And you can kind of begin to be really wise about like propaganda, projection, the illusion, how much of the stuff is just not real. And ultimately strengthening the spirit through immunity. When you pull this whole holodeck down, what would be here? Community, the purity of the earth. Really simple things would just be, right? That's knowing the strength that dwells in your own spirit, okay? We can do all this hubble, okay? We can do all this, but at the end of the day, honestly, it's simple and we don't have to. We don't have to act weird. We don't have to choose. Once we know better, we can do better. We understand when things are negatively influencing our energy. We see the dupe and the silly show. And then we act accordingly, right? And the wisdom of that strengthens our spirit. Your higher self chose this card because Fire Cider wishes to tell you something that may be difficult to understand, which is that, come on, okay, manifestation is not magic. What manifestation does make spaces is for your preparation to be useful. Oh, shoot. The universe will meet you with certain things But you'll never, for example, the universe could bless you. Oh, you're trying to manifest this? Okay, well, I've given you a bunch of seeds. Where's the work? Where's the container? This is actually beautiful when you consider Virgo transitioning to Libra season, right? Okay, if you can get with that. What manifestation does is make spaces for your preparation to be useful. Yes. For example, you keep manifesting, I want wealth. I want financial freedom because my soul feels good when I have less debt or when I can travel. My soul feels good when I'm more free to channel artistic creation. It looks different for all of us. Or my soul feels really good when I can serve my purpose for, let's say, being a teacher, but honestly, the pay is not great. So I realize that I have to create containers where I don't carry as much debt, or maybe I live smaller. Do you get what we're saying here? Ultimately, manifestation will come in and say, where's the container I'm pouring into? Have you prepared? That's very Libra, right? Oh my gosh, you guys are telling me you've had this vineyard all year long. We're about to bless you with all this beautiful wine that could be a great abundance, and you can share and celebrate and bless many others. You feel what I'm saying? Where you're not ready with your storehouse. Where are their containers? This is going to waste. You get what I'm saying? Or Spirit is showing me like when someone wins the lottery and how damaging that can be if they don't know what to do after that. And it's not always about money. You get what I'm saying? Your lottery could be being blessed with meeting a wonderful person. But then, oh no, the frustration when you realize that didn't change, that you had not worked on any of your root wound issues or your relational connection issue. You get what I'm saying? Okay. The universe expands your possibilities. It moves things around so you're in the right place at the right time. And it offers a helpline when you're facing obstacles. Even so, you wouldn't go to a job interview without being prepared to explain why you're the right person for the job, right? You're not going to go to the store without money to shop, okay? Yes. This card reminds you not to go to Spirit asking for miracles. Ooh, that's a biggie, okay? Go to Spirit, right? Or the universe. You're asking for miracles to be made on your behalf. You're not ready to make a phone call, save a little extra, make a plan, finish a degree. This could be as simple as, I'm going to save up my money because I know I need the car. And I've committed to X number of rituals during the Virgo season because I'm smart and I've looked at astrology, and I'm going to clean out all of this, and I'm going to show Spirit my discipline. And how would we say in speaking Spirit? How do we say energetically? We would say, I want to be a vibrational frequency match to show the universe that I'm open to receive what it is that I want to be responsible enough to ask for. Okay, hold tight with me. Let's take it back out again to the panoramic, like we were talking about the tapestry up here. Spirit may look at love and light. Feel me on this, okay? Spirit may look at, for example, an entire community, i.e. state, i.e. country, i.e. continent. Take it as you will in your own heart and spirit with your own intuition and wisdom and discernment. Spirit might say, I hear you calling for a lot of things that a whole nother group of your ancestors called for hundreds of years ago. If I meet you with this, will you be ready to govern yourselves differently? Will you be ready to treat your neighbor differently? Ooh, Spirit, come through. Will you be ready to make sacrifices financially here because of the greater good of something, 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 something here? Okay, if you did have this new leadership that you cry for, would you be ready to receive it? If I put something up on a podium, hypothetically speaking, would you be intelligent enough to understand the sequential frequencies of the votes and the work that you need to do in self-education to really secure? You feel what I'm saying? We could take this out on so many timelines. So many timelines, okay? Love and light. And that's a big message to sit with in anyone's, my life, your life. But as within, so without, as above, so below. Okay. As in your micro life, as it shall also be in the macro of your community, collective, state, country, etc., etc. For example, Spirit may say, do you realize that your ancestors put XYZ in place, but I see that you cry out, let's say hypothetically, as a state. However, do you not understand the things that I've already made manifest? Would you go out and actually utilize those? Okay, again, we can go on many timelines here with this. Get with it. This is big. This is what we call master key work in shamanism and life-changing root work. This is master key level, you feel me? This card, Spirit said read it again, okay? This card reminds you not to go to Spirit asking for miracles to be made on your behalf. If you aren't ready to make a phone call, save a little extra, make a plan, etc., right? In truth, manifestation can feel like magic, but so few of us are armed with the tools needed. Dang, Spirit came through for real. So few of us are armed with the tools needed to manifest anything meaningful, or even to take it out in a sustainable longevity type of way. Remember how I told you I've been pulling a lot of kings, King of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, Justice cards, Fool cards, Magician cards. There are too many fears most of us don't know how to face, love, and light. And we all go through that, right? There are too many distortions many of us aren't even aware of, let alone able to bust up, and too much. That's like, doing shadow work and root work, right? And too much that is overwhelming about big life goals that can even seem impossible to achieve. This is why the universe will send you challenges that are meant to build your spiritual immunity. Remember when we were talking about when Saturn first moved into Pisces, guys? The swimming coach who was like, you got to be able to swim these laps because when the tide rises, I need you to be able to hold. I'm hearing, hold the line. Burn, 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 burn. Love isn't always on time. What is this? Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. We got to be able to swim that lap all the way out. Hold your feet. Keep your head above water. Come on, come on, come on. I can't even get you up here swimming a successful lap to see. I'm seeing Six of Swords. To see out there where I'm trying to take you. What is it? Moving to peaceful waters. Look, I'm seeing Moana, how they were trying to get out of the reef. But then there's a part 2 where like they're in the storm and they're trying to figure out, was that the second movie? They're trying to get back to that island, but they can't see it. That's crazy to think about Moana on this note too, because if she hadn't pushed the envelope, she wouldn't have went through the challenges she needed to, you feel what I'm saying? To get to the point to even be able to, Moana didn't know she was going to be out in some kind of water she was going to be in. She just knew she had to do the next thing, right? Wow. Very, very North Node Pisces, South Node in Virgo, okay? Okay, hold on. Now, Spirit, I'm hearing, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. We can't get apathetic, though. The thing is, now Spirit is showing me Dory and her short-term memory loss and her just keep swimming, and how sometimes you'll be tempted to say in the smaller reef because you're like, oh gosh, this routine, it helps my memory and this, and these are my touch points, but you're just circling forever. If you ever get bust out of that, you have to challenge yourself, right? Mentally and with your health, your capacity of what you can learn, all these things. Don't be overwhelmed. It is still only one day at a time, but we have so much goodness and powerful energy in the collective. Pluto and Aquarius, Uranus and Gemini for 8-9 years. Powerful movements. Not to even mention the powerful asteroid things going on and the stars, right? I'm hearing the defying gravity. So it's like there are things outside of our gravity and our understanding that are just rooting for us. I'm hearing like we're the last Stargate portals. It's in our heart chakras that we channel all these things. So we have a lot that's helping us, okay? It's easy to get discouraged, okay? And I understand that too, but North Node in Pisces. Keep lifting your head up above water. Okay, take another breath. It's okay. Sometimes you need to take breaks too. Like I feel like, again, this week is so important for stillness, for slowing down, not trying to just do so much. I do believe that going into Libra season, a lot of people who are on a certain frequency will start to lock into some connections, business, career, creative ventures, partnering together, people in relationships, boom, they hit a whole next level, or people separating from relationships, boom. All right, it's go time for some people. I'm not saying you'll be moving fast, but I do believe we're going to step out of this portal into this week, maybe even next week, and it's going to be like, all right, it's time for you to move to the next thing. And then 3 months from now, 6 months from now, things going to be looking hella different, okay? This is why the universe will send you challenges that are meant to build your spiritual immunity. I think a lot of this year we've had challenges with health, challenges with jobs, challenges with careers, daily routines. It's been surmounting to this 29th degree corridor, portal, hallway. I see that, like when people say they're in astral travel. And they get, you know how, and people always explain this hallway, they're walking down, they're floating down, and it's a lot of similarities if you ever go in toward a light, or through the clouds in a tunnel, or it's down a hallway. It's like we're about to come out the other side. And now this makes me think about how we were talking about the baby crowning. You thought something was born, but it wasn't born yet. Now it is. I don't know. It's something like this. Out the other side, because then Libra is going to say, now I want you to meet these people. Okay, now I would like to show you this opportunity. Because, okay, taking my example, love and light, you had to bump your head a few times, honey, because now look, this opportunity has been made available to you, okay, or this revelation, or this spiritual gift, this creative muse. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, one more time again, y'all. This makes me want to make fire cider now. I usually am making it at this time of year. This is why the universe will send you challenges that are meant to build your spiritual immunity. They make you stronger, wiser, and more prepared to manifest in a way that truly does feel like magic. With time and your willingness to prepare for greatness, you will experience a life that is deliberate rather than happening by the whims of cosmic energy. That's not to say the universe isn't real or that you won't have divine help along the way, but it's a lot easier for the universe to back you up when it knows you're prepared to take a leap when it calls. Get into it. Get into it, because here's the thing. I know people's charts are different. We have different strengths and weaknesses, and we've been through different experience. We have different soul contracts. But I totally get it. I know I have like 4 big, huge Aquarius placements and a lot of fire, including my Mars. So for me, it might be easier to be like, fuck it. I really don't be like, fuck it. By the time I've got to the point where I'm like, burn it down, pack it up, let's roll it out. There's a lot of things that have occurred up to that point, but that's the point of walking with spirit, looking for the synchronicities, doing your personal work, returning to those key points like gratitude, like alchemy, looking for the positive perspective, literally working your tools and not just collecting your tools. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your tools look like, they're all different. Really connecting with your guides, because then you're going to see the mark. Is like Indiana Jones. You ever think, like, they always depict these big, okay, but time out. Can we talk about, he studied a hell of a lot of history, and he also surrounded himself with intelligent people. He knew what relics were. You won't tell me Indiana Jones walked through the forest. How would he have known that that was the symbol of the rune that meant do to hit that door? So he knew when it was time to jump and duck and weave. You know what I'm saying? If he didn't put in the time and the study, we don't maybe see that. We just see him jumping and running from a ball, and you know what I'm saying? Yes, we need the bravery and the courage, but he built up his knowledge to a certain point because he put in the time and the work. There's something to be said for that too. You know what I feel really called to? Look, that's really pretty, isn't it? I love it. That was a gift. And I'll put essential oils on it sometimes, like a stone, to like diffuse it. But look, I can't remember. Is it a lily and an eagle? Anyway, beautiful. Let me reach for, I really feel called to OG Stephen D. Farmer. If you know, you know. Has been with me since day one of my very first apprenticeship. Look, very loved. We done seen some things together. I remember there used to be a time, very full, very Indiana Jones style. I just had this oracle and my ride or die, ride or wait, and what was it? My other tarot deck. My Italian Renaissance vibes. Dang. Oh, pre-Raphaelite. That was it. In the backpack. I didn't even have I had some things with me, and wherever I went, I would unpack a small, like, altar space. And child, and I just had my bracelets on, and we would just roll. Okay, there was a time like that. There are seasons like that. Okay, Spirit, let's tap in to the Earth Magic Oracle. We'll get a card, and then we will close, you guys. Hope you have a beautiful week. Find rituals. Be grounded. Be quiet. You know, listen. What is that? To the sound. Dun, 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 dun. A melody. What is it? I have but can't. Dun, dun. Anyway, the point is to be listening, to be watching, to be wise and discerning, to pull away from a lot of things that overstimulate your mind, because you are the universe in divine form. Get right in your own energy, okay? You don't need someone constantly. It's great to study things. I think, and on that note, I think it's good to have touch points with people that you trust, who have beautiful, healthy energy. Overwatching like lots and lots and lots of things constantly, I don't think is good for us right now. Being on social media too much, because people are just way too emotional. It's a lot of chaotic change, and everybody, just what it is. It's not wise and discerning, okay? Trust yourself. Okay, let's get a card, Spirit. Full moon completion. Look at that. Look at that. We're going to be, now that we've opened this portal, right? Solar eclipse, autumn equinox, very beautiful. We're going to be working up to an Aries full moon. I think that's so fascinating because of, you know, how everything was like Aries, 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 planet, precession, world, axis, and then boom, everything goes pause, goes into water, goes into retrograde. And now we're going to have a full moon in all of this newness. We've went through this portal. I feel that after these two back-to-back new moons, it's a huge reset. Anyway, full moon is going to be in Aries. I'm very excited to see this full moon card come out. Full moon completion. What has come? I kind of hear it like, what has come full circle for you? Okay, we're going to read it. We all know Stephen D. Farmer. His book is written in a beautiful way. We ain't got to fix what ain't broke. So we love to just read from his book as well. Y'all, hold on, I'm gonna get there. Sometimes I'll look up something, I'll be like, I'm looking up the wrong word. Okay. Every 29 and a half days, Spirit is pointing out that Saturn's cycle is also 29 and a half years. I don't know, take it as you will, right? Saturn. Then going fully back into Aries, this full moon will be in Aries. I don't know. Every 29 and a half days, Grandmother Moon shines bright and full in the sky, illuminating the landscape with her muted brilliance, casting a delicate canopy over the sky and the physical features of Earth. Having gradually etched her way over the last 2 weeks of fullness, she now stands like a guiding beacon in the night. She has completed this round of her perpetual and periodic monthly journey and will now start her slow but steady retreat into the shadow. In this card, we see the grandeur of the moon at its peak, blazing brightly and creating a silhouette of a tree. This beautiful orb reminds us that all cycles have their time of completion and fulfillment, one that will inevitably be followed by a decrease until yet another cycle is initiated. You can now take pleasure in knowing that whatever you've been working toward has reached its culmination. It may have been a relatively brief cycle, much more extensive one, yet regardless of the length of time, you've arrived at a stage of completion, which also we rest, we gather ourselves, and then we get excited because we know there'll be rebirth after that, right? But it's important not to miss there's like an in-between There's an in-between. It's a stillness. It's almost like void of course vibes, is what I'm feeling. Let yourself feel the contentment and satisfaction of this accomplishment. What is that accomplishment for you? What has come to completion? And child, I'll be the first to tell you, sometimes we complete something and we'll be like, fuck that. I mean, ideally you say, thank you for the lesson. I have gratitude. I hope you can get to a place where you realize it and it did things for you. Even if it was hard or it was grief or it was loss, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes we're in full celebration and we can see so clearly, I know exactly why this and this and this led me here, and we can honor it, right? Either way, I hope. I know it's hard. It really is. Let yourself feel the contentment and satisfaction of this accomplishment. It's like when you take a deep breath and reach a point where your lungs, they're pleasantly full and your body is ready to release a breath. This makes me feel like doing breath work to release old energy, to release old timelines, to release old stagnancy, right? Because when we do that, we're doing that not just for ourselves, but for the alchemy of the entire collective too, right? It's important not only to enjoy this completion, but to also let go and allow yourself to relax a little bit afterwards, right? We're not taught that. That's not really encouraged a lot in mainstream society. It's like flip another hustle on the side of your hustle and then do something else and do more and be more because you need to buy more and you need to consume more. And that's not real. That's a spell. It's a black magic, black, dark, inverted Saturnian, upside down world type of fucked up matrix shit. And it's not real. That's okay. It's not real. It's not bad to have things or experience things or whatever the case may be, but we don't need to white knuckle attach ourselves to just consuming more to try to distract ourselves from just... It's okay to just be content, and things are ending. That's okay too. It is. People are much too eager to rush to the next item on the agenda without giving proper time and space to appreciating and honoring the natural cycle of release that follows a point of resolution. Give yourself that time to relax and rest before tackling Spirit's next assignment. You know what this feels like to me is like the spell that is white knuckling the timeline, so to speak, is screaming because it's like, oh no, they can't rest, because when they rest, they'll come to peace and they'll take a break and then they'll slow down and they'll return to their embodiment, and then their divine wisdom will be like, ding, ding, ding. And then, what do we do? They're going to reset the time. It's already happening. So we're not going to go backwards on that, but the name of the game is to figure out how can you be distracted next? What can you consume next? How can you spend more next? And it's just like, this is a moment. This validates this energy of just, let's just relax. Let's honor what was and actually set intention for all that we know is going to be. And it's not all horrible. It's not all doom and gloom. Some people want to project that timeline out to make something live longer that's dying, okay? But it's not real. It's not real. Spirit is showing me when you tell someone the boogie monster, a child in the closet under the bed, it's not real. Hey, shh. Don't let them attack you with your own fear or your shame or your guilt or your wounds or your trauma, okay? We can do things to combat that too, because that stuff's not real. It's only real when we give it power. I.e. any ghost movie or whatever film you've ever seen, right? In the end, boom, boom, pow, the boogeyman just needed some love, or it never was real, it was a projection, or it can be released from the land now. It doesn't have to haunt us here anymore. I'm picking up on that. But we have to... What good old banishing OG ghosty, whatever movie lady. I'm seeing the lady, was it from The Conjuring? Those people, the point I'm making is those people always knew who the fuck they were, right? I know you ain't about to get up in my face. Whatever entity you are, love and light, you will be alchemized today, because you're not going to tell me who I am. I know who I am. I know what this is. What is it? I'm going back again to the Home Alone in the basement. Was he talking to the furnace? Was it, I'm not afraid of you anymore? I'm hearing. It's the epitome of all the big scary things banished out of the movies, but it's true. Because the law of one dictates that we have to be told the truth, and that really is how energy works. So, I hope you have a beautiful Mabon autumn equinox. Make a week of it. Bake things, pumpkin to spice it up, you know what I mean? Whatever makes your heart happy. Slow down. Please, please. I'm always going to be over here pleading for you to take your shoes off and go connect with the earth. I guarantee you she has your best and highest good in your favor at all times. And you just sit down with her and it'll be doing all it needs to do for you. I promise you that. Nobody's going to hijack Earth. I hate it so much, and I rebuke it and return it to the sender as it needs to be appropriate and the highest and best good of the universe. I hate that Earth and Gaia and the elements are abused, but hijacked, they are not. And you better believe when you go out there and it connects with your DNA and the stars and the sun and they will get you right. You just know that. No, that can never be taken from you. I guarantee you that. So that is my message and all the energy that I have to share with you. Beautiful solar eclipse, beautiful reset points. Welcome to Libra season. Happy autumn equinox. Okay, take good care. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon, guys. Okay, bye.